So first of all, we're just going to go through and look at some commentary on ESS BIZTOOLS. What's in ESS BIZTOOLs? It comprises products and tools to assist accountants to deliver business advisory services to your clients. Ever since Deloitte's produced their digital disruption report, there's been a number of comments made by industry leaders and product suppliers on the likely effects of digital disruption. CCH produced their report on comments by both small business operators and 212 accountancy firms. So there's a real issue emerging. So we believe that the business advisory component within ESS BIZTOOLs will help you and your colleagues in your firm supply the answers that the marketplace is seeking, and also offer you a new range of services so that you can change these predictions into a great opportunity for your firm. Business Plus newsletter is a newsletter which is produced for you as a subscriber to badge with your own name and send it to your client. Client mentoring and coaching, there are 13 modules to assist with the education of clients. Leadership, there are 9 modules on leadership that have been prepared by Leadership Academy, company headed up by Peter McDougall, former Colonel in the Australian Army. We have 35 seminars stroke webinars that can be utilised with your clients. Within the papers, there are 480 papers targeted at small business and 50 papers that are for accountants. We have an associated product called ESS BIZTOOLs, which is part of the Gold subscription, but this webinar today is only looking at ESS BIZTOOLs. So what's contained within the material? There's a group of papers, obviously, and for every paper there's a PowerPoint slide, and there are some standard letters. There are YouTube recordings on many aspects of ESS BIZTOOLs, and the whole product is then networked into a series of products that you can offer to your clients. So if you looked at how ESS BIZTOOLs all fits together, we originally started with some papers and some seminars, and from there we've developed the tools, the business advisory services, which has got a complete segment which is to assist accountants to get ready to offer business advisory services. And then we have 13 product modules that are prepared, ready for use by accountants. We have a Business Plus newsletter which concentrates primarily on non-taxation issues of concern for small, medium enterprises. Client mentoring and coaching, I mentioned before. Leadership are separate modules, and we have a separate product on a separate website for ESS BizGrants, which helps to identify government grants that individual small, medium enterprises might be eligible for. So the business advisory tools, 9 modules on helping an accounting firm get ready. It's a bit like building a house. If you don't get the foundations right, it's probably not an ideal home. Business advisory services are the same. You need to get the foundations right, which is all this preparation, staff training, selection of products has to be prepared if the product is going to be successful. And all that will take time. Within business advisory services, actual products, there's a range of products. Some of them are on the screen there now. These contain templates, forms, manuals, all to assist you to deliver the services to your clients. So within business advisory services, there's all of those items that are listed on the screen there at present: papers, forms, questionnaires, manuals. We have a form to assist you in preparing a quotation, and we have a proposal letter. Business Plus newsletter can be branded by you. It's produced each month except January, but in May there are 2 additional editions covering end-of-year tax planning and the federal budget's effects on small medium enterprises. Client mentoring and coaching has been prepared based on a telephone call I received one afternoon from a subscribing member firm in Perth that said they had a new client coming in. They've been trying to get this guy for a couple of years. What papers should they give this particular gentleman show as to differentiate themselves from other firms in their location? So I wrapped off a few papers, and the caller said to me, why don't you put that into a system so they don't have to ring you every time we get a new prospect coming in. So that's where we started from in client mentoring and coaching. We've covered 13 different possibilities, ranging from someone starting a business to someone being very experienced in business, to someone that's wanting to know how to handle their bank, to someone that's wanting to get investment ready and try and raise investment funds from business angels, or make an application to a bank for a major loan. Leadership. Initially, our suggestion is you would use the leadership material internally in your own firm, and then you would look to use it in advising clients on leadership issues. Client seminars and webinars, there is 35 of them. They're being prepared in different presentation times, ranging from 1 hour through to 15 hours. There is, which we're not suggesting you do that straight, of course, we've broken that into 5 3-hour segments. We also have an all-day client seminar if you want to run one. Some firms do that around this time of the year. Or we have a half-day seminar prepared, ready for use. And the papers, there's 480 papers targeted at small businesses, which you can badge with your name, logo on the front page and send it to your clients or prospects. There's 50 papers that are targeted at accountants. And for each paper there's a set of PowerPoint slides. ESS Biz Grants is free to gold subscribers to ESS BIZTOOLS. This is a great way to start a proactive discussion with your client by producing a report that you've prepared from ESS Biz Grants. So the system prepares a report of the grants that your client might be eligible for. This report's prepared after you complete a client profile on that client. It takes about 6 minutes to insert the initial data. So we're going to go onto the website in a moment and go through and look at each of those items to give you an overview as to what is included within ESS BIZTOOLS. Now we have a special promotion that starts today on subscriptions to ESS Biz Grants Gold subscription. As part of our response to the digital disruption opportunity, we are discounting our gold package by 33%, so the cost is $1,990 for 12 months 24/7 access, including GST, and that also includes the ESS Biz Grants subscription. So I've now gone on to the website of ESS BIZTOOLS. We're going to go straight through into products. And within products, you've got those key summaries that I just went through a moment ago. So if we go into business advisory services, we always have a preamble in front of each section. So there's a brief summary explaining what business advisory services is about. On the left-hand side, under the heading Introduction to Business Advisory Services, with the grey background. We have the individual modules that have been prepared to assist an accountancy business to get ready to offer business advisory services. So if we have a look at implementation of business advisory services, there's the executive summary. There's a summary of the contents that are in there. So there's a guidance paper to guide the accountancy firm on what the process should be, in our opinion, together with various forms to assist in the delivery. We'll go into the PDF form area. It downloads quicker. So you've got a set of contents. So this is what an ESS BIZTOOLS paper looks like. We don't recommend you send any that are in the 500 to 600 series, so this one's 570, to clients, because these are papers just targeted at accountants. But if you were sending this out, or you were going to do something with it, you would put your logo on there and your name and address to send to your clients. Pardon me. So there's the contents, and here's the forms that we have within the paper. So the instruction form is taking you through, the instruction paper is probably a better way of putting it, is taking you through looking at various components. These other papers are all linked into the system, so you can click onto them if you wish. So it's giving you some general commentary on what we believe you should be doing if you're going to successfully launch business advisory services, covering items like quality assurance, coach. Some firms engage external coaches to assist, and we have included a list of some of the coaches that we know of who are available. We've talked about your sustainable competitive advantage, because that's the important thing. And if there's anything coming out of this Deloitte digital disruption report, and that is that whilst there's a forecast to be some significant disruptions to accountancy businesses over the next 2.5 years, there is an enormous amount of opportunities for accountants to finally find the time to be able to start offering a wider range of services to small medium enterprises. And the CCH report of their survey into small businesses and interviews with accountancy firms was also very timely, in that it listed some key areas that small businesses are really saying that they needed the assistance from their accountants, and many of them probably didn't get it. So if you combine that report with the MYOB report of 2004, which really identified the services that small medium enterprises wanted from their accountants, and some 9 years later, I very much doubt that those services are being provided to even more than 50% of small businesses in Australia. So within some of the forms, there's a suggested strategy list there of how a firm might go about implementing business advisory services. Andrew Geddes from Smith Inc. 2020 Proprietary Limited, probably the most experienced advisor to the accountancy profession in Australia, believes that this is a 2 to 3 year process to actually get a firm that's been heavily compliance-based, preparing annual accounts, superannuation funds, financial planning, really involved in offering a business advisory services. I think it's probably at least a 2 year period. So don't rush it. It needs to be done properly if you're going to set the foundations right. And you need to get your team members prepared. So there's a checklist for the introduction of business advisory services. There are a range of other matters to think about, like staffing, marketing, the products that you're going to offer, and who's going to do the work. Our recommendation is that the partners act as mentors and rainmakers for business advisory services, and that the key advisory service work is rendered by managers and accountants who will need to be trained so that they can think more like a chief financial officer who is employed by an individual business. So we've got there some checklists of the attributes of A and B class clients, and so it continues. So what we might do is just move on and have a look at one of the products. But before I do so, I should just emphasize what else is in the preparation area. We've got team training, leadership strategies, marketing, selection of products, the use of the SME Needs Analysis, a planning seminar to launch business advisory services, and some hints on how to professionally sell business advisory services. Well, I should probably just look at the SME Needs Analysis before we move on. We'll go into the PDF version. There is a paper there which takes you through what's included. And then we've got a very detailed SME Needs Analysis, which is first of all looking at your current business performance and asking various questions. And what we're trying to achieve out of this is that your client will say, well, what's debtors days outstanding? You calculate it and you come up with 62 days. And that should be a discussion point then. And out of it, I'd be expecting that you would get commissioned to do some work on that, to review their debtors system. Questions here about, are they getting government grants? Are they interested in government grants? Do they know some of their colleagues in similar businesses who are getting government grants? Then look at their taxation planning. Very appropriate comment at this time of the year. And their future planning. What else are they looking to do? Are they wanting the business valued? Are they wanting some budgets prepared, a business plan prepared? They're going to expand their business, wealth creation, risk management. Have they got insurance covers on their buy-sell agreements? Are the insurance covers adequate today? What about succession and estate planning? What about in business improvement, finance, and so on? Whole range of products that we suggest you sit down and have this discussion with your clients. I'd send them the needs analysis prior to the meeting. You want their input. You want your client turning up with their brain in gear to be very proactively involved in this whole process. What we might move on to now is some actual products. On the right-hand side with the blue background, you have got the products that we've already prepared, forms, templates for. So we go into debtors management. There's the executive summary. There's a lot of forms in here. We'll download these in Word, so you can see it working in Word. Just takes a little bit longer. So these forms are there to assist you in undertaking, first of all, a due diligence review of the current debtors system, and then after that going through evaluating each component of the system. Within the debtors system you have templates and forms that you can introduce into your client's system if you believe that they need them. Dun & Bradstreet released figures about 10 days ago which indicated that the current outstanding debt in Australia was 55 days. A lot of that would be small businesses debt, and it really does highlight the magnitude of the problem. Nearly 2 months debt outstanding. So there's the contents of debtors management, and you can see we have a range of forms. So we're going to start with the debtors review questionnaire. This enables you to undertake a due diligence review of your client's system. So that goes on for some time. We might then go back and look at a debtors system form and documents. These are detailed work notes then asking about individual components, referring to forms that have been prepared. So here we have the credit application form. Do your clients use one at present? I think this is one of the contributing factors to debtors days outstanding being at 55 days. And that's the average. So there's a lot of people with debts a lot older than 55 days because there are quite a number of businesses that are still trading around the 30-day period. Hopefully this form could help. So you might say we're going to use this form in the system we have with the client. What's going on with director's guarantee forms? So there's a sample of a guarantee document. It's there for viewing, which suggests that your client should be going to their solicitor and having their own document produced. We've included a welcome to new customer letter. Perhaps this is one of the reasons debtors days are so high. Are people confirming to their new customers what their terms of trade are, what their credit limit is? Are they confirming the customer's special requests for information to be shown on the tax invoices, the time of the month that the information is to be submitted, etc.? So there's internal advice on a new customer. There's notification to other employees that there is a new customer. There's questions about the personal property securities register. Has the business got a procedure for handling those type of forms? I just want to also point out there are debtors recovery letters. There's a debtors days outstanding calculation form that you could leave with the client to help them calculate the debtors days outstanding. We put an example there so they make sure that they are able to calculate it properly. There's a debtors reduction check, which hopefully your clients will find useful, where they've identified that they want to get in an extra $100,000 over and above what they normally would collect in a month. Who are the debtors they're going to try and go and get this from? They're going to be using a rifle, not a shotgun, to try to collect this money. How much they're going to try to collect off each individual customer. Very importantly, who's been allocated this task? No one likes this job. Who's got the job of going around to these individual debtors and collecting the $10,000 or $20,000 that's been allocated to be collected? And then we've got a format here for them to record their progressive collections so they can see how well they're going in collecting the overall targeted figure for this this month. We have a form to assist you to prepare a budget for a quotation to unpack this work. So it's got provision there for a couple of people to work on it. Obviously you can expand that if you wish. We've gone through and listed the various components of the of a debtor's review. As I would break it up, you can link back to what we previously said in these other forms. There's some provision there for some specific work to be done. How much time is going to get spent, what's your hourly rate, what are your outlays, what's your payment schedule, that you're able to then incorporate the key information in the what we're calling a proposal form. We had accountants saying to us when we first started writing these business advisory services components that they weren't sure how they would cover the quotation and the proposal. They weren't used to doing it, so we've drafted them. So what I'm showing you now is repeated in each of those other 12 business advisory services product modules. We have a suggested proposal or engagement letter that obviously is different in each case, although most of the headings are the same. So within this, you're going to confirm your quotation, you're going to confirm your payment terms, cover yourself in case there's extra work identified during the course of the assignment, and that is basically how that works. So that's the process for a business advisory services job. You can see there are a wide range of activities there, from business health checks, an evaluation workshop, budgets and cash flow forecasts, chief financial officer services, etc. The next area we're going to move into is client mentoring and coaching. This is material to assist you to educate the client in the sort of services that you can offer. So this one we've called Introductory Management. It's for a client that's already running a business or has had a lot of experience previously. We've broken it into series, so there are 7 series here. So we're sending out a fair bit of material to the client. So what we recommend you do is download it in series by series. So we'll download this. We'll just go to the PDF area. So this is a suggested letter that you place on your letterhead to send to the client. It's telling them what they're getting. There's a separate letter for each series so that they can see what they're getting. I don't want to move from there. We'll just download this in Word. I seem to have a problem there on that. So we're just downloading that in Word. Just making a note to get our technical people to have a look at that. Within the system there is a letter which I just showed you, which we don't need again. There is a survey form which you would badge and put your name on it, and you're inviting your client to rate the papers you've forwarded to them. Were these papers helpful? Our suggestion is that these forms should be followed up by a customer service officer or administration person about 5 days after you've sent the material. Inquire of the client whether they were happy with the material, has it raised any questions, do they want to come in and have a discussion with an accountant. Unashamedly, you're trying to use this material to steer your client into receiving real accountant's services from your firm. Real accountant services. So you're offering a chief financial officer type service to help the client grow and expand and value add to their business. So there needs to be some marketing of this and then some selling to sell the concept back to your client. And within here then we have the actual paper that is going to go to the client. So if we click on the paper, you would badge and name it at the top. This one's characteristics of a well-run business. It's got 20 characteristics listed. And this is general information for the client that's helping to inform the client on the type of services that you as their accountant believe that they should be understanding And also, of course, you're implying to your client that you know how to prepare this material or supply these services. Because for years, all accountants have done is talk to small, medium enterprises about taxation and annual accounts. So we're hoping to change that process. There are PowerPoint slides also available if you wish to use them for a particular activity with your client. So that's how the mentoring and coaching works. The next area I want to move into is Business Plus newsletter. We produce this newsletter once a month, except in January where there's no production. It's uploaded to our website about 12 noon on the second Thursday of a month. What you receive is the newsletter, which you can badge and send to your clients. You also receive details of papers that are within the ESS BIZTOOLS system that might give a bit more information on a particular item that's been included within the newsletter. In the newsletter, we try to concentrate on matters affecting small, medium enterprises. There is not much taxation information because there are other taxation newsletters, and many small business operators have said to us that they don't like receiving a newsletter from their accountants full of taxation matters. They believe that's your worry. You mightn't agree with that, but that's a comment that I hear. Okay, so we've got this area here which has got articles supplied by ESS BIZTOOLS. You remove that and place your logo and name there. You have the various articles. This is an editorial type article. At the end of most of the items though, there's a call to action. This one obviously talked about budgets and cash flow forecasts and business plan updates. Come and see us if you want to have our assistance. There was an article here on pitfalls of starting a business, which referred to the CCH survey that was released in April that identified reasons for business failure according to SMEs and accountants. And we also included the self-rating for business startup in this edition. We had a continuation of an article we had the previous month on survival in difficult times. We've been running a series for years now on what's it mean, trying to demystify accounting terminology, jargon, business jargon. Action plan prior to 30th of June, we started this series of articles in April and continued in May, and then this is the final components of it, of course. And it's really trying to encourage your clients to do some planning on budgets, business plans, sales forecasts, their margins, their debtors, their team, handling of wastage, theft and pilferage, succession planning. We also have a reminder, re-export market development grant if you've got clients who have been involved in exports or are planning exports and have spent in excess of $20,000 on eligible export promotional items, and all the details of what are eligible export promotional expenditure items are included within ESS BIZTOOLS. We couldn't let the opportunity go without commenting on digital disruption, because digital disruption, according to Deloitte, is not just going to affect professional firms, which obviously includes accountants. It's going to affect a range of businesses, retail trades, arts, recreation, IT, real estate, all being affected by the digital disruption. So what we're suggesting there, that if any of your clients have got concerns about these issues, they come and talk to you. The call to action. Fringe benefit tax, it's our taxation article for this month. We try to only have one or two, and we try to have articles that are going to be of interest to small, medium enterprise operators. Then we have the attention accountants, and this is the list of papers that are within the ESS system, or articles or other items that we can link to, that will give you as the accountant a broader understanding of what the article in the newsletter may relate to, so you can look at those. Now we're suggesting you delete this attention accountant section before you send it to your clients. Put your own message in there. You might be promoting a seminar or webinar. Someone might have had a baby. Business might have won the business of the year, whatever. So that's the ESS BIZTOOLS Business Plus. You might have noticed the number on those. It's been it was in the 92, I think. So we've been producing this for over 7 years, and according to our surveys, people like receiving it. We have client seminars. We have 35 seminars within the system. We just click on and have a look at a 1-hour seminar. So we found that over the period of time, the most popular page is not available. The most popular seminars are the 1-hour ones. But there are other seminars there if you wish. There's an all-day seminar, which some people like running at about this time of the year. They might only run one seminar a year. So within it, the seminar, you've got some generic material, general hints on the presentation of a seminar. Let's take you through the process that you need to consider. There's a venue booking letter, just to remind you need to book venues, and in lots of cases you need to book your own boardroom, having turned up at one firm one night in a city I won't mention and find that the Youth of the Year award for Rotary was also being conducted. And a bit embarrassing when you've got 30-odd clients turning up for a seminar. So some quick phone calls had to get made to relocate the people there for the seminar. So there's also material just targeted at this particular seminar, so for a news release to go to the local media. Now in capital cities you're not going to get it run in one of the major newspapers, but there are a range of free newspapers, and in regional and country areas of course there is a very vibrant media industry, and they're always looking for stories, so you can get some very good publicity. All you need to do is to personalise that to make it acceptable. And then to make sure that nothing goes wrong, here's the one of the papers that are going to be dealt with in this seminar. So by this stage you would have badged it with your name on it. And the materials there, nothing worse than turning up to run a seminar and not having the right papers, nor the right PowerPoint slides. So we'll bring them up. So the PowerPoint slides are prepared, I think I said before, for every paper within the system. So that's how the profit-making seminar would work. Within the library itself, we have the ESS BIZTOOLS papers. There are 54 sections. If you want to see what's in a section, you just click on the section. It will show you the papers that are in there. If you want to look at the accountancy business papers, They're in the series from 500 through to 599. So if you go into Accountancy Business Development, there's a list of the papers within Accountancy Business Development. If you want to have a look at the creating business advisory services for clients within your firm, you can read the executive summary and say that's what I want to have a look at. And there's the paper. And for that paper, of course, there's a PowerPoint slide. So that's how that area there operates. If you wanted to look at a paper in the small business area, we might go back to operating a successful business and say we want to have a look at break-even calculation. There's the executive summary. There's the paper that's been prepared. Now, whilst I've been talking, I've noticed we've had some other people join us. If you have any questions, can you please type them in and send them through by raising your hand using the webinar terminology, and we will try and answer those at the end of the webinar. The other area just to finish on is leadership modules. There are 9 leadership modules within the system. These have been prepared by Peter McDougall, ex-colonel in the Army. You can click through them and you can read them and basically go to the facilitator's guidance, read that material and continue through. The system's telling me I need to log back in. So that's a summary of how ESS BIZTOOLS operates. If you have any questions, I would like to hear from you. So just a reminder that we are launching a special promotion today on ESS BIZTOOLS Gold Package, which includes ESS Biz Grants. We're discounting our price by 33% as part of a 2-month campaign to give accountancy opportunity of seeking the opportunities that are available from the digital disruption. Deloitte's are saying digital disruption is affecting professional service firms, obviously including accountants now, and it's going to be felt quite significantly over the next 2.5 years. The opportunity is there now to offer a broader range of services to clients. We believe that we can contribute to that, and we would welcome you as subscribers. So I'll just check and see if we've got any questions. I don't seem to have any. So thank you for participating in this webinar today. If you do think of some questions later on that you'd like to ask us, please send us an email to peter@essbiztools.com.au or ring me on 0747241118. We will contact you next week to see what your thoughts were on this webinar. Thank you very much for participating. Have a great day, and Oh, sorry, there is a question. I'll just... how do we access this price? From tomorrow, if you go onto our website, you probably haven't received our communications yet, but you'll be receiving them today and then tomorrow morning. If you go onto our website, the special promotion offers on the gold package, just click on it and follow the directions, and we will have your username and password sorted out within 24 hours of you finalising your subscription and your payment.